Hi guys, and welcome to an Ace Tanker in the TOG 2. Now, I haven't featured the TOG 2 as an Ace Tanker before on the channel, and the reason is I've had this tank for quite a long time. In fact, I bought it pretty much as soon as it came out in World of Tanks. I play it quite a bit because I use it to train up British heavy crews, but I don't play it often enough, and I haven't actually played it often enough to get an Ace Tanker since I started putting Ace Tankers up on the channel. Well, that's changing now, because in the last stream a couple of days ago I was platooned with Beyond D, and he also has a TOG. And now my platoon mates usually don't have TOGs, so we don't TOG platoon. And really, if you're going to be playing the TOG 2, you really should platoon, because it's a heck of a lot more fun in a platoon than it is playing solo. I haven't reviewed the tank, and I do apologize. I was hoping to get an Is It Worth It out for the TOG 2 before the event started, but as you probably know from previous videos, I had a very up and down month last month, and I just haven't had time. So you're just going to have to make do with this TOG II Ace Tanker instead of a review, and the review will come sometime in the future. So anyway, we are here on Himmelsdorf. It is a Tier 7 game. We are Tier 6s in a Tier 7 game. It's a 49%er, so it's a pretty close game. But the TOG 2 loves city maps. The TOG 2 tends to suffer on big open maps because it's slow. It has no armor. Tanks firing HE love to see TOGs on the enemy team. RT loves to see TOGs on the enemy team. So really, a city is a perfect hunting ground for a TOG. Now, instead of sticking together, Beyond and I decide to go our separate ways. Now, I'm planning maybe to try and cover the 8 line and work the middle of the map. There is no point in going up the hill in this tank. You can see that it's incredibly slow. Not only is it incredibly slow, it's incredibly big. It's a big target with no armor. So what the TOG does have is 1400 hit points, which is insane at Tier 6. It's got almost half the hit points of a Tier 10 mouse, which is the most hit points in the game. So it's got a lot of hit points, doesn't have a lot of armor. HE will mess you up, but you basically use your hit points as armor. You've got a very punchy gun. It's a 17 pounder with, as soon as we bring it up, 171 millimeters of penetration, 150 alpha damage, and my reload is currently at 4.29. Now, I need to admit or say that I only have a 75% crew in my TOG. I use my TOG for training up new crews, and recently I unlocked the FV215B, and I moved my Carnarvon crew into the FV215B, and as a result I've got to train up a new Carnarvon crew. So I've got a 75% Carnarvon crew in the TOG 2. So I'm side scraping, spot a TOG 2 and a KV3 just on the edge here. A little bit of lag in the replay, but managed to pen the TOG. Wondering, it's a very extreme angle. Wondering if I should fire. No. So, missed that shot, but don't have a very good crew. And basically the TOG is all about using its hit points as armor and a really punchy gun. But with a very poor crew in the tank, I can't really rely on my gun or its rate of fire to get me out of trouble. So, enemy TOG 2, very good player on the enemy team. Not going to have shots. I decide to ignore the KV3. I don't really want to trade with a KV3, especially when he's hull down on a corner. So 2 TOGs on the enemy team platoon. They've got the same plan as me, and then I notice that they've got a very good TOG player, and he's advancing across open ground through the middle of the map, and this is where the TOG wins. So someone is able to track him. It could have, I don't think it was me, but there we go. You do not want to take TOGs onto open ground because bad things like that happen. So, very good player on the enemy team, on a gun and a TOG gone. Go for a blind shot on possibly nothing. And I notice there's a Hellcat behind me shooting through the gap, and I decide, oh, there's an arty shot. So, enemy team have won the hill. We're defending, but the enemy team have won the hill, and I decide I don't really want to advance down the 8 line because anything up on the hill is going to have shots on me. So in the meantime, Beyond D is working on the 1-2 lines. KV3 has advanced, and I'm going to wait for this KV3 to advance around the corner. So one thing that TOG II is really good at is tracking enemy tanks as they come around corners and then using its DPM and rate of fire to basically tear them apart. But unfortunately, there's also a TOG II moving up. So I decide to track the KV3 anyway and lack the alpha damage in order to do it. It wouldn't have been a damaging shot, but I do want to slow these guys up. And again, I'm side scraping on this corner. And I'm on stream, I'm talking to the viewers, and I say, you know what, let's knock out this guy's gun. Maybe he'll use his repair kit on his gun instead of his tracks. But again, bad crew, missed that shot. Again, not enough alpha to track the TOG as it comes around the corner. But the TOG is focusing on someone else. I'm trying to stay safe. Still working on this KV3, failed to track him. And the TOG II gets taken out by a Jagdpanther. You really do need to stay as safe as possible when you're in this tank. So again, I'm going to try and do maybe some reverse side scraping, but nope, I noticed that enemy tanks are coming down the other side. Beyond D has gone down. He's communicating to me on TS. He warns me about the danger from the left, and I hit and bounce on the TOG because he's angled, but I go for a track shot. He's firing gold. So many TOG players firing gold, and now I'm in trouble. Oh, Jagdpanther 2. So I noticed that those guys, I've got to try and save our Jagdpanther who's keeping the KV3 from my rear. So I'm side scraping, bounce the Jagdpanther. Just got a hint of a shot, track him for no damage. And unfortunately our Jagdpanther's gone down, so I've got to worry about a KV3 behind me, a bunch of tanks in front of me. Thankfully there's an SU-122-44 moving down to deal with the KV3. And I'm just continuing to bounce shots, continuing to side scrape. But things are not looking good. We are losing 9-11. And again, I'm trying to get shots in here, trying to track the TOG. Now there's a T-150. All of these guys have quite a lot of health. I'm going to try and use my DPM, going to try and use the rate of fire. And thankfully, Artie decides to go on a suicide run, so we take him out for kill number 1. I'm still side scraping, trying to get damaging shots and track shots. Unfortunately missed that. And I think I would have done much better with a better crew. The Jagdpanther decides to give me his rear. TOG is advancing. So now what we've done is we're side scraping, we're able to track the TOG. He's penning me, but now we're just trading shots. So I've got damaging shots on him, he's got damaging shots on me. He bounces because I'm side scraping. And I managed to save myself about 150 damage. So T-150 and Jagdpanther are trying to flank me. There's an RT in the middle. I need to kill this RT. He's firing HE. He's very dangerous. Missed my shot in the move. That was a really bad shot by me. So someone drove into the cap circle and drove out of the cap circle. So now I've got to try and do some more side scraping. We're still losing, but we've dragged the score back to 12-13. And there we go. Just side scrape the Jagdpanther and the T-150. Critical hit for no damage on the Jagdpanther. Able to get one shot in. Side scraping, bounce him again. And again, bounce. And thankfully the SU-122-44 takes him out. But meanwhile this RT is trying to kill me, and I'm poking my ass out, and the TOG is a very long tank. I'm trying to get a shot in through the statue. And there you go. I'm showing and exposing my butt, and unfortunately Artie does manage to hit me. So now I'm reverse side scraping, get a shot into the T-150, angling, get another shot in, and thankfully the T-150 is firing HE. But I've reduced him to 155. He's a 2-hit kill. He's going to try and get another shot into me. I'm trying to get into cover. Miss my shot on the move. He gets another HE shot, but Artie's coming for me. And such a bad shot. I was almost going to say something rude there. So I'm trying to stay safe from the T-50. I know this Artie's going to come for me. There he is. Get one shot in. T150 is switched back to AP, does a lot of damage, so I'm advancing, get a kill on RT while on the move. But I'm basically a one-hit kill now. I need to get 2 shots into the T150, need to get 1 shot, or he's only got to get 1 shot into me. But I'm on 2.7k damage, 1v1. Our Hummel is saying, oh my god, it's getting serious. So I'm going to try and hide as much of my tank as I can. Hopefully this T150 is going to poke. I'm still firing regular AP. I've not fired any premium ammo in this game yet. But the T150 decides to poke, gets stuck on the corner, lacks the gun depression to get me, and I'm able to take him out with 2 shots. So 4 kills, 2.8k damage, and game is won. So as I say, it was an ace tanker in the TOG II, and I don't play the tank very often, but I will say it's a very, very good crew trainer, and pretty much most of my higher tier British tanks have at least someone in the crew that has actually been in the TOG II at one stage. It's not a fun tank to play unless you're in a platoon. It can be extremely frustrating. It has no armor, it's a big target, it really, really suffers on big open maps. HE and RT love you, and it doesn't have the best of view ranges, so it is a city warrior in my opinion, or a sniper if you don't get it onto a city map, but you can have awesome games, you can have fun games, but it really is a platoon tank. I do recommend playing a TOG II when you're in a platoon, preferably with other TOG IIs, but if not, then at least you can count on your platoon mates to back you up. When you're playing the TOG II solo, it's not so much fun. You can have awesome games, or they tend to be awful games, at least in my case. But as I say, it was an ace tanker. I picked up high caliber steel wall and a bunch of ribbons. But a steel wall in a TOG is not something you're going to see very often, because the TOG has no armor. But what it can do is it can side scrape, and that's why it needs city maps, and you saw me side scraping a lot there, and you'll see how much potential damage I took in a moment. But 2,848 damage done, 4 kills, 1450 in XP. Today or this month is a really, really good time to play your TOG II to try and get an ace tanker, because there are so many new players to the TOG II who don't understand its strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, Beyond picked up an ace tanker in his TOG II in the game prior to this one. This was my ace tanker, and it's a pretty good time to play the TOG II because there are so many TOGs on either side. I fired 40 shots, I only managed to hit 29 and pen 28, but I'm going to put that down to the fact I only have a 75% crew. The gun on the TOG is very, very good, and if you've got a good crew in the TOG, it performs much, much better. But I was happy with almost 3,000 damage. Now, I received a steel wall in a tank that has next to no armor because the TOG can be used to side scrape. You have to be very, very careful you don't over angle and give them, because a lot of guns are going to be able to penetrate your side even if you've over angled a fraction. But I received 16 shots and only 10 of them were penetrations, but not all 10 did damage. My tracks ate quite a few shots and I bounced 6. But my tank only has 1,400 hit points, and my armor managed to block 1,750. So really, really happy with that, and that pretty much shows why the city is the TOG's natural element. I damaged 8, destroyed 4, did 252 assistance damage, and even managed to pick up 25 base defense points. I earned 65,000 credits for that game, 2,122 XP with a premium account, and a 1,697 XP bonus thrown in, which left me on 3,819. So really, really happy to finally bring you a TOG II Ace Tanker. As I say, it's a tank I don't play very often anymore. I will be playing it more in future because for the last probably about a year and a half I haven't had to train up any new British heavy crews, but now I do. I've got a Carnarvon crew I need to train up again, so you'll probably see the TOG on the channel again sometime soon. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.